You really liked when I talked about Sims Team, what the hell are you doing? So I'm doing Sims Team, what the hell are you doing? Part 2. And if you like this video today, please like, share, subscribe, click the notifications bell so you always know when we're coming out with new content. Let's discuss what the hell the Sims Team is doing. Well, first of all, one of the things I think that's a major problem for them is that they're creating content, which is good, but they're not giving us the content that we want, which is bad. And we don't know the situation behind this. Now, one of the things I think that they did really right, and they continually to do right 100%, is when they partner with CC and mod creators. Because if anyone's got their finger on the button of what we want, it's the CC and the mod creators. And you just need to look at the amount of mods that are out there to see that they are delivering what the Sims team is lacking. And because I think these mods are out there, they feel, I think, a little less pressure to deliver on the content since the mods are out there already serving that community. However, we do need to consider that there are groups of our community who do not have access to mods or CC. And we have groups of our community who do not want to use mods or CC or even cheats. They just play vanilla. They've always played vanilla. That's their thing, and they're never going to change. And we need to respect that. And we need to understand that these people deserve to have access to these creations as well. And I think that the Sims team really needs to put a focus on how to give these people that experience. And one of the best ways they can is by delivering the content that people want. Now, the Ebonics collaboration, I think, was genius. I think it was a great idea. I love when they do these collaborations, as I said before, but the problem that I have with these kits, and I know you're going to get mad at me for saying this, and I've said this to fellow content creators as well on their channels, is that there isn't enough content in these kits to guarantee the $5 price point. Now, listen to me carefully. Nowadays, inflation is at an all-time high in the United States and abroad. We are seeing price of groceries raise astronomically. You go into the store, you go to buy a bottle of milk, it's 3 times as much as it was last year. You go to get a loaf of bread, it's 3 times as much as last year. Your salary that you may have been making 2 years ago is not cutting it for this year. So you're cutting a lot of expenses to make ends meet. And maybe the one thing you do for fun is you play The Sims and you want to be able to enjoy The Sims. Well, in order for you to enjoy The Sims, you've got to have replayability for the $5 price point. You need to look at what's out there to compare it. You need to understand that for some people, $5 is the difference between a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk for their kids. $5 is the difference between someone's lunch money and whether or not mom gets to play The Sims this week for a new kit. You know, that is the difference that a lot of people are facing. And I think that this is something the Sims team needs to consider as well. I know there's a lot of moms and dads on the Sims team who make this decision every day. Take this into account when you're thinking about creating content for your players. Now, also, I know the fact that the content may have been in the works for a long time. We all know how long it takes to plan these games. We all know how long it takes to plot the marketing for these games. And when they bring these games to fruition, they've gone through the process. They've delivered on the concept, it's the finished product, and it's either met with resistance or approval by the community. But I think really for the next pack that's coming out, that the Sims team needs to step up and deliver to the community the majority of what the community wants, the one thing they've been asking for the whole time. And as long as you deliver the #1 request from the community, you're going to win back their favor. You're going to win back their approval. You'll be able to do whatever you want. And I think that who's ever in their operational control really needs to evaluate what's coming down the pike and really sit down with the higher ups and discuss this in detail. Because the one thing that we're screaming about more so is not a new expansion pack. It is not a new game pack. It is the bugs and glitches. They've got to get this under control. It is at an all-time high. It needs to be adhered to. It needs to be taken care of. And these guys need to put their rears in gear and get it done. Because the scope of these bugs and glitches are astronomical, in my opinion. I've never seen it this bad before. We always see little bugs and glitches throughout the years, throughout the games, and it was like, yeah, okay, they weren't that bad. They always fixed them, and everybody went on their merry ways. But in the last couple of years, the amount of bugs and glitches that have increased with the release of the packs have absolutely been dismal. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous how bad they are. And as a longtime player myself, I expect better from the Sims team. I expect more for my money as a consumer. And I'll tell you something, if they don't shape up, there are ones waiting in the wings, waiting to snap up your players, and they're gonna get them. Now, the other question that I have for you is, why do you think the Sims team has so many issues that they have? Well, this is my personal theory, and it is an alleged theory. So keep in mind, it's a theory, it's not fact. What I think is their biggest problem is operational control. What is operational control? Well, speaking from a business standpoint and speaking as a longtime player, this is what I mean by operational control. I was a former chief operating officer for close to 5 years. And as a chief operating officer, you have directives that you lay out for the company, and they're followed. Then you have your managers that you appoint to oversee those directives, and you have your team members who carry those tasks out. And it's basically supposed to flow down like that. You lay down a directive, the manager oversees it, the team implements it. It seems simple, right? Well, guess what? More times than not, it usually isn't. Because what happens is when you have a large team full of diverse opinions and creative individuals, ideas start to flow. People decide to go off and do other things. Well, I think this way is better. No, I think that way is better. No, I think this is the way it should go. No, I would think that's the way it should go. You have a conflict. You have meetings to sort out the conflict. And usually, more times than not, these meetings resolve the conflict. And some ideas that are brought forth in these meetings are implemented into the directive and then approved by the higher up. This is the problem that I think Sims team is having. I think that they have a lack of operational control. I think that the problem that they have is the directives that they're following out are being met with conflict from other team members. People want to go in one direction because they feel this is the better way to go. It's resistant, management insists on it, and they go forward. The other thing that they have a problem with, in my opinion, is advertisers. Marketing campaigns, they can go a certain way. Sometimes they go sideways. Sometimes they go very well, depending on how you lay out the procedure. A strong director will always be able to control the concept from beginning to end. And as long as you have a strong director who knows the concept, knows what they want to deliver, knows their team well, that concept is going to be carried out from beginning to end. Now, what we've seen with the Sims team in the last couple of months is it looks like there's a lot of chaos over there, in my opinion. It looks like there's a lot of resistance to ideas. There's a lot of things going on that people may not be on board with. And we've seen that team members have left the company. If you just go to Glassdoor and look at their rating, EA does not have a favorable rating. So I think that this problem is the operational control. Now, can this be fixed? Yes, it can. How can it be fixed? Well, first of all, operational control needs to look at the number one problem plaguing your product. And the number one problem, in my opinion, plaguing the product are the bugs and glitches. That needs to be handled. Increase the amount of quality control that you have, if you can, and I believe you can, and make that your sole focus. You can delay putting off your expansion packs and your game packs to get this done, because once you get this done and you get people happy again, you're going to develop trust with your consumers. You're going to develop a better relationship with your consumers overall. Not only that, the people that you have campaigns with, you're going to develop a better relationship with, because then they're going to see you putting your consumers first, and that's going to give them even more faith about working with you next time for even bigger campaign. The operational control needs to be improved, in my opinion. Once that operational control is approved and improved, you're going to see better results overall, better performance overall, because I'll tell you, I said it before, Life by You and Paralives are just waiting in the wings. They know that when they launch these games, people are going to flock to them. And unless Project Renee, when it's released, is something incredibly different and mind-blowing and fantastic, they're going to lose those players to Life by You and Paralives. And I'm making that prediction right now. But you know what? If this seems like you're ripping on the Sims team, you hate the Sims team, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I don't hate the Sims team. I really care about the Sims team, and that's why I'm making these videos, and that's why I started this channel, because I've been playing this game for over 20 years, and I've been playing Sims 4 since the day it was launched. And one of the things I can tell you about this game, if I've seen it gone from good to worse to good to dismal, and right now you guys are at dismal. When you release an expansion pack that has the amount of bugs and glitches on it, it never should have been released in the first place. And your quality control head needs to be ashamed of themselves for releasing such a pack. And I do say that openly. The other thing I think that people need to consider is that I know how hard the Sims team works. I know how hard those developers work and the quality control works. And it's not always easy to work on a team sometimes if you have a directive that you may not agree with, or a directive that you may not think is the best way to go, but that's what your management wants. And you're inside a box, and you've got to stay inside the box, and you can't go outside the lines. That's a huge morale killer. It really is. I've seen that happen personally to people. And let me tell you something, it's not pretty. You can always turn things around if you're a strong manager. You can always turn things around if you're a strong leader. Because I can't for the life of me understand how you can let these problems persist as if they're not there, or just send out these messages like, yeah, we're taking care of it, don't worry about it. Yeah, we're doing it, don't worry about it. Something's got to be done, Sims team. Something's got to be done. You got to do it soon, because if you don't, you will lose your players. That's the end of today's rant. And if you'd like to hear what I had to say today, click that subscribe button, like, share, leave a comment down below. All that stuff helps this little channel out so much. I'd like to thank you for subscribing from the bottom of my heart. That really means a lot to me. You guys are helping this little channel grow every day. It's all because of you. I thank you profusely. Until next time, I'm Jen, the GXSimmer. See you on the next video. Have a great day. Or night. Take care.